this is Christina Barr. You're watching Black Tea News. Hello. Welcome to Black Tea News. I'm your host, Christina Barr, and today we're going to be talking about, there is news about Balenciaga, and so now Gucci, who is also under the same parent company that Balenciaga is under, has a creepy ad that people are talking about with Harry Styles, and so we're definitely going to talk about it. It's creepy. I don't know. You can say it's not creepy. Particularly, some people are. We'll get there. We'll get there when we get there. Also, want to rant a little bit more about the Republicans and their boneheaded unholy alliance with the Democrats with the omnibus spending bill. And also, did you guys know? I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys about this, but Stacey Abrams is in some campaign debt or owes like vendors $1 million for her campaign that she lost. So pretty interesting, especially since she had money from all over the place. A lot of candidates who run, she probably believed that she could win though. But a lot of people who run, they run because it's a win-win because they know they can raise a lot of money, especially in races like with Beto O'Rourke. People send money all over. So we're gonna turn Texas blue. Maybe one day, but you're not there yet. But he's a big cash cow. So he ran for Senate, then he ran for president very quickly, and then he ran for, of course, governor. And I wouldn't be surprised if he decided to run for something again. I don't know if people are gonna wise up, but people get a lot of money from that stuff. So before we jump into the news today, I want to encourage you guys to blacktnews.com. Check out different articles that we have on the website, different videos that we have. Make sure that you guys are liking, subscribing all across the different platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram. All my handles are pretty much at Black Tea News. At Twitter, it's at True Black Tea. Black like the color, tea like the drink, but most of them are at Black Tea News. I do also have a Rumble. People have asked about a Rumble. I do have a Rumble account. I'm not streaming on Rumble because you have to have a particular amount of subscribers before you can go live. So if you would like to watch me live on Rumble, then please go ahead and subscribe. But I think everyone who's new joining on like YouTube and stuff, I know I've attracted a lot of people from some shorts that I've been doing. Please come over and watch the longer form videos too. But I know some people aren't getting notifications when I go live. Make sure if you just so happen to pop in by chance that you're actually hitting the notification bells. I've also talked about how people have asked about Spotify, and we'll be doing Spotify and other things like that. So just hold tight. We'll make some big changes after the holiday season, which Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, by the way. I hope you guys have finished your shopping. It's so cold outside. It's so cold. And the wind feels so awful, like vengeful, like Elsa has lost her mind kind of madness. No wonder why those townspeople wanted to kill her. It's so cold right now. It's awful, and it's not just that it's cold. The wind is so crazy and it's just blowing so harshly that my hands are like like trembling just from being out in a little bit. So make sure that if you go outside, that you're very bundled up, that you get a big thick coat, put on some boots, make sure you're wearing good socks and jeans. If you're wearing jeans, put on long johns. I'd always hate as a kid getting long johns. My mom would make us wear it. I hated how they felt, but if not long johns, put on like some leggings underneath. Like it is genuinely very cold right now. So Just want to put a warning out there in case I'm talking to anyone who's been bundled up all day and anyone who still needs to go out. I'm going to still head out to church tonight. So make sure you got your stockings on and all that good stuff because it is genuinely cold. But anyway, make sure that you're subscribing all the places. If you like what I do here, though, at Black Tea News, you like what I'm doing and you want to see it expand, please consider leaving a donation at blacktnews.com/donate. Cost of stream, cost to run a website, all that good stuff. So if you'd like to help with some of the overhead, God bless you, very much appreciated. Make sure that you guys also check out different merch that we have on the site, like the I voted for President Trump, and all I got was historic peace stills, gas under $2, no new wars, etc. So that's a shirt. Also got the defeat Joe Biden announced white supremacy shirt with a list of someone's racism on the back. I have a long sleeve version, which comes in handy right now because it is, like I said, very cold. We all got all sorts of goodies. I also do write books, so I encourage you guys to check out some of my books on Facebook. I mean, on Amazon. I have 15 published books. So if you go to blacktnews.com and hit the merchandise page, there's a banner at the top. It'll take you over to my book site, or you can just search me out on Amazon with Christina Albar and find my books, and it's BARR. All right, let's go ahead and get into the news. So you guys know that I like to start off with a meme, and this one really made me laugh. It's a good one. It's a good one. Congress reading through the 4,155 page omnibus bill. And if you're not familiar with LeBron James, I don't know, who appears to like to, I don't know, pretend like he's an intellectual, I guess, but he's always reading a book, and he's always like photographed with a book, and it's always like just the beginning of the pages. It's never you catching LeBron. It's like at the end of the book. Now maybe there are, but those are the pictures that have gone viral, and it's a meme, and it's funny, and I'm laughing. I thought it was funny. So hopefully you guys got a little chuckle out of it. I was amused. But of course, people voted on the omnibus bill and didn't really read through the pages. Some people did, but the Monday night is when I think the rumblings of it coming through happened. It's a huge bill, and they were debating it and all that. They just I don't believe that people sat down and actually read the whole thing before they voted. And Nancy Pelosi once said with the Obamacare bill, like, we need to pass a bill to find out what's in it. I'm pretty sure the Obamacare bill. That's what people do nowadays. I don't think they even care about what's in the bill. They just care that they get their thing that's in there. So the Republicans really didn't want to shut down. I was reading I'm going to try to find out all their reasoning and try to compile it in some kind of article, I guess, so people can be aware of who voted for it and why they said it. But the gist of it is, I guess they just really didn't want the bad PR of having some kind of shutdown, and Biden pointing at Republicans and saying it's because of them that we're not paying our veterans our troops on Christmas and all that other kind of stuff. So, when people outside of politics don't have money, which a lot of people don't have money for their families and to survive, we passed all this money, this bill with all this money, and yet there's headlines like people can't spend as much as they would usually spend on Christmas, and it's really bad for a lot of people out there. And then they look at how much we're spending, and people have questions, and it doesn't make people fiscally more responsible. It frustrates people on the right, and then folks on the left, which we talked about this yesterday. They go, well, it doesn't make sense to me when you guys say you can't pay for my health care or you can't pay for my college, because you pull out money out of nowhere, out of your butt, when you want to pay for salmon or something, or pay for an LGBT museum in New York or something. Like when you guys want, which they probably like something like that. But the point is that they figure out how to materialize money, which they just print it, when they want stuff done. So they're like, don't tell me that you can't find money to spend things on stuff that I want, especially when they say that it's a right, that they don't see healthcare as a commodity. They see it as a human right, and we are doing a huge disservice when you won't pay for their healthcare or their child care or their education in college. They see it as a huge human rights violation. Like, other countries do it. What's wrong with you? Blah blah blah. And so I don't know if they realize all of the like economics, how it doesn't track, how it doesn't work, but what we're doing, the economics doesn't track. It doesn't work. Like, we're all going to have to pay for this, for not having, even attempting to balance a budget. So there's so much garbage in it. People putting all sorts of garbage in it that's just so random on different kind of spectrums. But the Democrats got a lot of stuff, woke stuff in. But hey, at least folks are getting, those post offices named after them so they can have that little bit of glory. I was reading, though, stuff that Republicans were saying about it, and they said, it was a trash bill. They'll admit. I can't remember particularly which one who said it, whose thread I was reading in the other day, but basically they admitted there was a bad bill, and they didn't feel that they had good options, and it was either vote for a bad bill or government shutdown, and veterans and et cetera don't get paid. Now we understand the shutdowns, but why can't they just, like, I don't know, perpetually pass something that, like, regardless of whatever happens, we just make sure certain people get paid? I don't think that should be like too difficult, right? Just have, like, I mean, they'll balance it, they'll pass some kind of budget sometimes, but just have, like, a line of this set aside, like, in the event that there's some kind of shutdown, that we will continue funding. Like, I'm it seems like this having a conversation. This has been a conversation before, and, like, it should be a thing if it's not a thing. But that's the excuse. They just really, 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 really didn't want to shut down. I think they should have played chicken a bit and tried to renegotiate and get something better, with the Republican majority, the slim majority. But it is what it is. It is what it is, and it's very unfortunate. But at least we have the memes, I guess. At least we have the memes. All right. I want to talk about this Harry Styles story. This is creepy. So Harry Styles, he was in One Direction, correct? I'm not a big secular music person. He's been, like, the target of, like, folks like Candace Owens, because Harry Styles will wear, like, a dress, and they'll talk about masculinity and all this other kind of stuff. I know Harry Styles was one of the people who retweeted the Minnesota Freedom Fund to bail out rioters during the BLM riots, which that organization just doesn't believe in cash bail, and they'll bail out anyone regardless of what they're accused of. And actually, some people that they let out did like murder people. But good job there, Harry. Harry, Kamala Harris, dude from The Office. I know his name. The guy who played Michael Scott. I think his name right now. A lot of celebrities decided to retweet that stuff. So he's a very left-wing sort of figure. So anyway, he's did a Gucci ad. And after Balenciaga, I think people have their eyes open. Steve Carell, thank you, Katrina. Steve Carell, which I should super know that because she watches Office all the time. So people are really on the lookout because of Balenciaga and their creepy ads with if you might have seen the bears in the creepy harnesses. And then people look deeper into Balenciaga, and there's like weird court case files that deals with pedophilia. And then there's a book of art that's like children being tortured and all kinds of weird, gross stuff that is obviously not a coincidence. So people have questions. So anyway, Gucci is Balenciaga and Gucci are under the same parent company. Maybe it's a coincidence, maybe it's not. But Harry Styles was in like an ad campaign for them. So one of the pictures that's wigging people out is this one, and there's a few when he's like carrying this bed. Now I don't know if that has to do with clothes. However, um, that's obviously a mattress, and it's a child size mattress. That's not he's obviously not lugging around a king or queen size bed in the ad. And you could say whatever they were doing, they just really wanted to have a mattress, and you obviously couldn't carry a bigger one. But people are just like, that's not a good look. That's not a good look. Okay, but it gets like significantly worse. So he's also in this shirt with this bear, right? And this bear, which teddy bears is apparently a big thing with pedos, and like the artist that did the Balenciaga stuff with the bears in the harnesses, the stylist, think it had all this, was obsessed with like bears and stuff, but apparently that's a thing in like pedo world. And I'm not saying that Harry is overtly a pedo. I don't want to throw that accusation deliberately and directly at him, but there's some creepy stuff going on. There's some creepy stuff going on, and there's something somewhere that someone knows that this isn't a good thing. So you could say he wears weird stuff all the time, just a fashionable, quirky person. It's not so weird. And then this grown man is wearing this T-shirt with a pink bear on him. Okay, you could go that route. Okay, but the shirt says like, I want more berries, and I'm not a fan of Harry Styles' music. Like, I don't. Not that I'm saying he has bad music. I just don't follow it. Those are lyrics from a song called Watermelon Sugar. And I guess I've heard bits of it because, like, on TikTok, it plays Watermelon Sugar, and then someone would like. Actually, I don't know. It could all be the same song, but there's a sudden shift to me, so it seemed like someone did a mashup. Maybe it's not a mashup. I've never heard the whole song. I've never heard the whole song, but the song itself is about something very weird. The song is actually about female orgasms. So I have a clip of him talking about it at a concert, because people, I guess, were speculating, and he did eventually let the cat out of the bag that it was about that. So here's a clip.
It doesn't really matter what it's about. It's about the sweetness of life. Sing it for me. Tastes like and it sounds the same. I want. It's also about the female orgasm, but that's totally different.
So there's your confirmation. There's your confirmation. So he's confirmed that this song, Watermelon Sugar, is about orgasms, female orgasms. Let me see if I can just pull up the lyrics really quick. I looked at it really quickly, so I don't think that they're overtly tastes like strawberries on a summer evening, and it sounds just like a song. I want more berries. So that's the line that's on the shirt. And that summer feeling is so wonderful and warm. Breathe me in, breathe me out. I don't know if I could ever go without. I'm just thinking out loud. I don't know if I could ever go without watermelon sugar high. Watermelon sugar high. Oh, I guess it is. Is that a TikTok mashup? That is how the song goes. Watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar. Strawberries on a summer evening, baby, you're the end of June. I want your belly and that summer feeling getting washed away in you. Breathe me in, breathe me out. I don't know if I could ever go without watermelon sugar. Goes to the watermelon sugar stuff. I just want to taste it. I just want to taste it. Watermelon sugar high. Tastes like strawberries on a summer evening, and it sounds just like a song. And it just repeats stuff. So yeah, those are the lyrics to Watermelon Sugar, which is about a female orgasm, apparently, according to Harry Styles. So it looked like, I don't know if it's Gucci or so. When I Googled the picture of the shirt, it did look like someone was selling the bear and the I want berries. So that's gross. That's gross. So it's just a little weird, guys. It's just a little weird. So we got Gucci, who's under the parent company, the same parent under the same company, Balenciaga, and we have the bed, the small size bed. You know, I heard well, I saw a tweet today that said conspiracy theorists are just people who can map out patterns. Now there are people who go on crazy kind of stuff, but let's just connect the dots again. We got the little tiny bed. Not sure why he's carrying it, where he's going, what's the purpose of the little teeny bed. But then you got the shirt with the teddy bear, and the, I don't know, the teddy bear, does it look like it's kind of holding himself? I'm gonna zoom in a bit. I can't zoom in and on from where I am. I'm gonna just look it up really quick and try to zoom in on this bear a little bit more, because it does look like the bear is kind of holding himself. Or no, the bear looks angry, actually, and the arms are crossed. And the bear appears angry because they can't have more berries. So so Gucci hasn't said anything about it. So they've been, reached out to by like New York Post and other folks about this. But both Gucci and Balenciaga are owned by Caring, a Paris-based international luxury goods group. And Harry Styles, apparently, from what I know, hasn't addressed the bear either. But it's weird. You can draw your own conclusions. You can draw your own conclusions. I think I'm gonna assume the worst. Not necessarily about Harry himself, though. I mean, I don't know. I think it's in poor taste anyway. And then there's all these like young girls who like him. I mean, there's girls who grew up watching One Direction, listening to them, and are now adults as well. But a lot of people who are younger also listen to music like that, and it's not his responsibility to tell young kids to not listen. Well, he could do that, I guess, but parents, I guess, should be the supervisors of it. But I don't know, it seems in poor taste anyway. But I think it's gross. I think it's a little weird. Some people in the comments are saying he's another groomer. I don't think it's a. Now, you could say just the comment about berries and having a bear, like bears picking berries in the forest or eating berries, or what, like you could argue it's not too far removed or something, but it's like a cutesy pink bear. I don't know. I think it's weird. I have questions. I have questions for sure. He's an odd guy. He's an odd guy that likes to push the boundaries, and I don't trust these high fashion luxury brands with what they're putting out. So you can let me know what you think about it in the comments. But I got, like I said, I got questions. All right, moving on. I want to talk about Stacey Abrams. Now, this story is like a couple days old, but I didn't get a chance to really talk about it. Stacey Abrams is in debt from her campaign. And you could be saying, how is that possible? She got money from up the wazoo. Like, she was a big celebrity, her first go around when she ran. And the second time around, she's built up, she still has that fame. She's built up a big network of people to go out and vote. You know, you get people all across the country who are donating to them, and she's received so much notoriety. On Star Trek, she was in an episode. She was like the queen of the earth, or some president of the earth. So it's amazing how politics and celebrity have just like merged and mashed into one. But this story is from the Daily Mail. Stacey Abrams owes her campaign vendors $1 million after she spent thousands in a month renting a TikTok hype house and a swag truck to win over young voters. The Democrat, 49, spent a whopping $100 million on her campaign, only to lose out to Brian Kemp by nearly 300,000 votes. Her campaign manager, Lauren Gowargo, confirmed to Axios that the wannabe governor owes more than $1 million. Abrams lavished $12,500 a month, which, side note, I was talking to my nephew about how much something costs, and I said $1,200, and then he told me, he's like, that's not a number. It is a 12 number. I mean, it is a real number. It's just a different way of saying 12,000. So anyway, I just thought of that, so I wanted to throw that out there. Little tiny kids, they think they know so much when they go to, anyway. He's adorable. He's a smart kid. So she paid $12,500 a month on a TikTok house. If you might be wondering what the heck that is, but there are people who will live, and maybe this, when we get through the article more, I'll describe it differently, but I've seen it like on TikTok, where there'll be people who live together and making TikToks and videos and etc. Like a big media house of folks living together, I guess. Don't know why that's necessary. You could just have like a normal kind of stuff. Anyway, near Piedmont Park. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. To people who live out there, to make content for her campaign, only to barely use it. Staffers eventually turned to the 5-bedroom home into a makeshift office, according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. She also used a swag truck with her face on it to hand out sweatshirts and T-shirts in the hopes of winning over young voters. However, staffers complained Abrams had no real strategy for the truck, and it ended up being costly. Yeah, just because you have money doesn't mean that you should spend it. You need to spend it wisely and have a good plan. Despite her paying her employees more than the average campaign, they said her spending came back to haunt the entire institution, especially in the campaign's final weeks. Most of her 180 full-time workers were given an abrupt paycheck cut-off date of just a week after the November election. Wargo told Axios they also lost their health care benefits at the end of November. Isn't that interesting? All these Democrats who are like healthcare, and they cutting off them benefits. People have told me that they have no idea how they're going to pay their rent in January. An unidentified staffer told the outlet it was messed up. That is really messed up, though. Especially I mean, when you go into politics and you've worked a couple cycles or whatever, you're well aware of how it works. Like but to not try to take care of people like at least until the end of the year is really messed up because it ends in November. It ends in November, so um, people understand that they might not have a job after January something, but that's holiday season. You got Thanksgiving immediately, and you're going into Christmas. And unless you go get a job at a retail store to do, um, holiday sort of employment for the season, what sort of guaranteed job are you going to be able to find in that time? And you know what? Sales are so down for people and so many people wouldn't work that there are stores now that have just essentially decided to have less hours and work a staff of less people, and they would take the pay cut as far as like moving that merchandise because it's cheaper to just have less employees. So even in this busy Christmas time where it's still no guarantee that you might be able to find work because people are figuring out a way to move on without employees, which is another terrible um I guess consequence of the pandemic, that the people wouldn't work. People were paid to stay home. There were people genuinely afraid to go out and live any sort of life, but there are people who were also paid to stay home, and it didn't make sense for them to go out and work. And there are people who are like, I don't care, I need to work. It's good to work, so I'll go out and work. I want to work. I don't want your handout. And then there's people who are like, no, it's smart to stay home. And can you blame those people? Like, honestly, but it did condition people to not go to work. So you have all these employers who are begging people for jobs. They're raising pay, trying to get people to come. And now there's the high pay still in the wages, but there's also inflation. So it's just high anyway, but everything is now high, and they have to cut their losses somewhere. And so there's people with less hours hiring less people. And what are people supposed to do right now? By the way, if you don't have a job right now, you should probably go find one. Because I mean, we are technically like in a recession. People want to deny it, but it could get worse. And the hiring situation is not great now. Like, there's still people who are asking folks to be hired at different fast food restaurants and stuff like that. But it could get really bad. I would just recommend find something that, if you can, just a little bit of warning, because I think we're gonna hit some harder times before it gets better. But yeah, you should definitely, with all the money that she raised for her campaign, it would have been nice to have some kind of package for people out to the end of the year, some kind of plan for people to the end of the year. It's bad enough when even knowing that you might not have a job in January because of how the election cycle is. Like, when I worked in the Michigan Republican Party, I was only like did one cycle of, we finished, and we had a successful election that year because it was 2016 in Michigan, and we amazingly won like everything, including Trump running the presidency and stuff. And so we still had to work after the election because we had the recount, and then we had to do like the certification, and all the other kind of stuff. So we stayed busy, but we did have vacation and other stuff like that. But my vacation got interrupted because I needed to make a video about Hillary Clinton and Jill Stein and the recount. So I was pretty like annoyed, but so we were still working, but we kept our jobs and everything. But there was uncertainty too, because Ronna McDaniel, who's the current chair of the RNC, we'll see how long she is or isn't. I think she has those votes wrapped up. So a lot of people are upset, but I can't. Maybe it won't be Ronna. I just wouldn't bet against her. I'm pretty sure she has those votes locked up to remain the RNC chair. But there was this big question of, is she going to do another cycle as chair, or was she going to go to the RNC? So we had all the certainty after the win, but then we were suddenly uncertain about our jobs. And that is a sucky feeling to have. So my heart goes out to these people, even though like they're opposite spectrums of, political opponents and stuff. But it is a sucky position to be in, and it's just not cool for everyone to sort of be out and on their butts, especially when the Democrat sort of policies as far as economics and so on is to take care of these people in need with their health care, with their child's care, and make sure they have high wages and stuff. So at the end of the day, they talk a big game, but a lot of these people can't hack it. And there's a lot of people who run for office who don't have any sort of real world, experience with really managing money. And you see how they run their campaigns, how they are, that they're just ideologues, and they aren't going to really apply that in any sort of fair measure if they had to do it with their own money. Now, they can do whatever with your money, but with their money, not so much. Which, by the way, it was a big question when she was running in the first race because she had big debts before. And so this isn't mismanaging money. This isn't like a news story with Stacey Abrams. Another one of her staffers said, a senior Democratic official on her campaign told AJC, it's incredibly bad planning, and it shows where their values are at. You can't look up to one day and realize you can't pay the bills. Staff on competing campaigns were paid through November, and some even through December. Like I said, re-elected Brian Kemp's staff received bonuses and were paid to the end of November, while Herschel Walker and Senator Raphael Warnock's employees were paid through the end of December, according to Axios. So people will pay, if there's money, they will pay bonuses at the end of the years and stuff too. I figured 100 million they should be able to pay me until December, one Abrams staffer told Axios. So it's messed up. Abrams' campaign also massively cut TV advertisements in October, cutting its $2 million to $3 million budget to under $900,000 in the final week. Her opponent, Kemp, spent $2.6 million in the final week alone, according to Axios. This isn't the first time Abrams has run into money problems with her campaigns. In 2018, the overzealous Democrat ran out of money during the primary campaign, which Democratic operative Chris Huntman called a well-documented pattern. He lost to Kemp. Her loss to Kemp was another devastating defeat, as she lost to him in 2018. The 2022 race was meant to be her redemption, but she lost the slot by 8 points. Yeah, it was a wipeout. The majority of the state voted red, with only little pockets of blue showing through around Atlanta, Athens, and Savannah areas. DailyMail.com has attempted to reach out to Abrams for comment, but apparently she didn't get back. So, yeah, that's a lot of money to spend so irresponsibly, like on this bus in a hype house, and to not use it either. So, but you know what? You get people on your staff and they think they got a really good idea and they try to convince you of it too. And people make some boldly bad decisions. And that was one of them. That was one of them for sure. Oh, someone's watching from South Africa. Thank you. Thank you for Elon Musk. There's this video that I want to show you guys, but I can't. I'm not gonna stream it because it has it's a commercial. So I'm gonna do a separate video on it and post it. The reason why I don't want to stream it live is because I'll get hit with a copyright, and they probably won't accept the appeal. But it has copyrighted music in it, so at least I'm going to put it on YouTube and I guess Rumble. I don't know if I'll put it on Facebook because Facebook will probably silence it. But it's a commercial and it's going around on Twitter, and people are just like, can you guess what this is? So I watched the entire commercial and it's over 2 minutes long, and by the end of it I don't know what the product was at all. So the ad just and I thought about live streaming my reaction, but I was too curious, so I just went ahead and watched it. Um, it's a old man, and he's married, and he would sneak into the bathroom and put on his wife's lipstick, and he snuck out to the store and would buy some women's makeup, and he would do it in secret in the bathroom, and if he got someone knocked on the door, he would like wipe it off. So one day for Christmas, a relative came over, maybe it was his grandson or something, and they were looking kind of tranny, I guess. And so he took his grandchild, I think, into the bathroom and then just started doing his makeup. And then they came out of the bathroom, and everyone at the dinner table was looking like, and then I guess the mother of the child got up and just hugged him. And like, oh yeah, acceptance, inclusion. And then it's over. And I'm like, at least the clip that I saw was over. And I was just like, what were they selling? So they're selling scotch and whiskey. And I'm like, that's just not how I was. Like, I'm not a drinker. I don't like alcohol. But that's just not how I would do it. In the least bit. And someone on Twitter pointed out like this is a groomer tactic, which we are using that word a lot, but they mentioned because he just took the kid, went to the bathroom, decided to put on the makeup, didn't consult the parent at all before like he took that step with the teenager. And I'm like, well, I guess that's a good point. I mean, obviously they had in the commercial, everyone was like, oh yes, it, like the mother was like happy tears because they took that step or whatever. But I also thought it was kind of creepy and telling, because this old man did like want to live vicariously in a way through this child, and they weren't like a little kid. I mean, they were like a teenager, I think, if not a young adult, but I think they were a teenager if I had to guess. But he had this thing that he wanted to do and he couldn't, so he sought his affirmation through implying it through someone else. And that's what we see a lot today, I think, with all the teachers who are so woke, and they go to school and they have the pride flags and the trans flags, and they ask the kids what their pronouns are, and they don't like comprehend like the ideas of genders and stuff, and they're like, well, boys like pink, so you don't have to be a girl just because you like pink, or so and just really whittle it down. I saw Gays Against Groomer talking about one group that was promoting the idea that children, as far as at the age of 2, can know their gender identity, which is just insane. You just have a lot of adults who are just projecting all these ideas into these small children, and they want them to affirm how they feel. And it's just a continuation of the demoralization of our nation. And so people in the thread talking about that video, just I guess to spoil my whole video I'm gonna make. I'll probably won't have it up tonight anyway because I gotta go to church. But they contrasted this with this other video, and they're both not non-American videos. But there was a grandfather, and he kept, something was wrong with his like back or whatever. So every morning he would get up and he would start exercising with this weight ball. And people were like looking at him, and as he was exercising, but he set out this picture. You couldn't see the photograph, but then he would just start working. And so working out like every day to strengthen his body. So eventually, it was like Christmas. He came over his, I guess, daughter's house, and then this little girl came down the stairs, and he dressed up in a nice suit and tie, whatever, to get ready for the big day. And then he pulled out a box, and she opened the box, and it's a star. And so he ends up lifting her up to put the star on the tree. And so that's what he was working out towards the whole entire time. It's a masterpiece of a commercial, just beautiful. I don't know if my sister's still in the comments, but it's something that she would probably cry over if she's not crying right now. But and the company was advertising. They had like a slogan at the end. It was just like, for what matters in life, work out or keep yourself well or whatever. So it was a wellness company. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Now, the other commercial that I mentioned that they were selling, like, and it's a I can't remember what company it was. It was like B and J, uh, B and J Scotch and whiskey, or think, I don't know. It was an alcohol company. If it was a company and the commercial was like it was like for Ulta or something, which is apparently super woke now. If it was some makeup brand, that it would make sense to me. Like, be your true self, embrace your, like, if, and I still wouldn't like the commercial, but that would make sense to me as far as where they're going. Something that's really mind-boggling about these companies is how they just make stuff to just virtue signal like crazy. And like, do you guys even care about money anymore? Do you care? And there's a plethora of like woke commercials where you're like, what was the purpose of that? Isn't there a better way to sell your product? Because they're just virtue signaling for like a niche portion of not even like their target audience so much, just to get a point across and to say that we're so righteous and virtuous because we believe in this. And it's like, dude, you just solve the scotch. Like, it's so weird. It's so weird. By the way, I saw a fascinating tweet today about Disney, and someone was like in a call for like investors or something like that, and Disney said that I think more than half of their subscribers are childless adults for Disney Plus, which Disney has historically been a company for children. You know, all the Disney movies, etc. You buy your kids Disney toys and whatnot. And you could be saying there's some people noting the fact that Disney owns so much. Like, how many people subscribe to Disney Plus to get it? Because like you might as well, because you get to get the package with ESPN or something like that. Or I mean, they own a ton of companies, so it's not just like something that someone buys so they can watch like cartoons. And then there's people who are adults who are fanatics who still like Star Wars and other kind of stuff. Which there are a lot of adults that are really into Disney and stuff. But it could also be that families don't feel engaged with Disney or like they trust Disney. And Disney has decided to focus on this market of adults, which somebody pointed out in the thread. Like they've kind of betrayed that audience, or decided to sort of give them up to chase, these childless adults with these who like these hobbies and all these other stuff, instead of marketing toward kids. But people always have children. They're a good bet to, look toward, to market toward, but they're chasing a bunch of woke stuff. That's when adult, like, I replied to the thread and I said, I don't have a Disney Plus subscription, but if I had children, I definitely wouldn't have a Disney Plus subscription for lots of reasons, which I've ranted about. Why I've pretty much stopped, like, quit Marvel. Why and I'm not a normie, by the way. I have thousands of comic books. Um, it's something that I grew up with before doing like politic podcasts and stuff. Me and my sisters used to travel to different conventions and talk about comic books and comic book movies. Like, we were the gorgeous geeks is what we called ourselves. So like, I'm like deeply involved in it. It's my heritage. It's like my literal inheritance. So it's no small thing that I've decided to give that up. So I plan to like say that all out in a video one day. But I the sort of things that they put out there for kids or try to sneak in with kids, and then they have an attitude because you won't give them access to your kids, I find repulsive. So like, I remember when Black is King came out, and I'm like, I would have canceled Disney Plus just for this. Just it, it was weird, like how much they were promoting that on their application, as a, some kind of weird tie-in to like Lion King, or with Beyonce's album. And in one of the songs, Scar, like, ain't in the jungle, ain't no Bible. And they had other like weird lyrics in it too. And there's all these contortionists, and like her eyes go white. I'm like, this looks like a demon possession. I'm like, and Disney has some witchy kind of stuff in it anyway with their villains and stuff anyway. But I'm like, this is weird. And I did think it was a suspect that Kanye, though he's very controversial now, when he came out with his Black is King album. I mean, he came out with Jesus King album, then Beyonce came out with the Black is King album. And if I was gonna pair something with Disney with Beyonce, and she's like, okay, my album is called Black is King, I'd be like, I don't like that. Can you name it something else? Can you name it something that's actually, I don't know, inclusive for our audience? Because we're going to be promoting this a lot. And if that wasn't the case, to be like, okay, well, you can't have any reference to like Lion King, or we'll sue you. Like, so, but that was just one thing. There's other woke stuff in Disney for sure, but their reaction to the parental rights and education bill, definitely would have got me to cancel the subscription. If I had children to show Disney Plus to. So, but those are my convictions. I don't. I very strongly say them. I'm not going to condemn you for not jumping on the train to do that. But as Eric July said, and I just thought this made a lot of sense. He said, "Don't give more than 50% of your money to people who hate you." And I feel like that company genuinely despises people like me and resent their fans who made them money, who made them great, who loved Star Wars, who loved the classic Disney films, the people who loved Marvel, who bought the comic books, who loved those characters, who did right for right's sake. That's why my dad liked it, the comic books. That's why he liked for us to read them and enjoy that we read them as a family, because it was about all these people who were just doing right for right's sake. Now there's like a diverse range of different comics and stuff, but that's like he bought Spider-Man and Avengers and all the other kind of stuff. But that's not the route that they go. And by the way, comic books are like dead. They're like losing just so much to manga, which manga slams anyway, I guess. But you have people who don't know how to write Superman, like, and that's a different company, obviously, but they don't know what to do with their characters, and they just make them more woke and more woke and more woke for each other to appease their politics, but not to appease their fans and the people who grew up with the stuff and love the stuff and made it a household name. But the American Writers Guild, maybe it was, they did a panel about, and we talked about it a little bit, but I didn't actually, I read about it, but I didn't watch the live yet. So maybe I will watch the live stream and report back to you guys. But there is actually like a plan to inject a lot of like LGBT stuff into not just making characters, but into legacy characters. So they take these characters that people love with all these legacies, so they can lure you in also with the nostalgia, but it's like they've hollowed out everything they are, and the woke folks are just wearing their skin. Like that's what it's like, and I don't appreciate it. The one of the best examples I can give to you about the companies just like sincerely hating your guts is the Punisher. The Punisher, they changed his logo, like the skull logo. I don't know if it's still changed, but they decided to change it, and it looks kind of more piratey now. But the reason why they changed it is because they didn't like that it had such a strong association, but people kept using the logo and putting in, like, I guess one of the skull teeth is like a blue line, and so they're associating it with Back the Blue, and they didn't want to associate it with that. And I'm just like, so you're scrapping your own logo because people on the internet like made stuff in Photoshop? So you're just scrapping that and you're making a new logo because you hate the Back the Blue movement so much. It's not like it's canon. It's just a thing that people do on the internet. So just to stick it to them, you're just like, fine, you guys can have this thing that we've owned and had for all these decades, that we put on lunch boxes and movies and t-shirts and mugs. I literally have a Punisher mug. And they decided to just scrap it and do this like pirate thing going on. And I'm like, they hate you so much. Like, so we can't technically take it away, so we'll just scrap it. We'll just scrap the whole thing. It's just because they just couldn't take the idea that some people associated it with supporting the police. Okay. So that's just one of the many examples. That's just one of the many examples. But again, I do find it fascinating that Disney's main market, or I don't know if I will say main market, but Disney Plus is obviously a huge project for them, and the majority of the people who are buying it are not even people with family. So I do think that's very interesting. Now there's no telling how many people use Disney Plus, and they're not the main person actually buying it. So there could always be more people than actually viewing in. But I don't know if I wonder if with the change in leadership now, because Chapek is gone and Iger's back, I think is the president. So with that flip, are they going to restructure a bit and try to refocus on some more wholesome child friendly, or what we perceive to be child friendly entertainment, instead of what they're trying to project into child friendly entertainment? Will they make a sincere turn to try to woo that market back, or and prioritize them, or are they going to prioritize the folks that they have that are like the childless adults? Because I think a lot of the people who are childless adults who are into Disney, that they can still get tired very fast. The sparkle and shine of like the Marvel films, a lot of them are really dying down. I see so many people hate watch stuff, it's crazy. And I can understand hate watching this to talk about stuff. I guess. But I don't know. I don't have that kind of time, I guess. I don't have that kind of time. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go though. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Please go to blacktnews.com, check out different content on my website, different videos that I have on there, different articles that I have. If you enjoy what I do, please consider leaving a donation at blacktnews.com/donate. I very much appreciate cost of stream, cost of run my website, all that good stuff. If you could leave a gift of $10, $20, 50, 100, if you want to, do something crazy for the holiday spirit, I would very much appreciate it. I really, really would. If you can't do that, I appreciate you guys sharing and liking and subscribing across all different sort of platforms. I very much appreciate it. As far as you guys have probably heard some reports about TikTok, and there's always been security concerns about TikTok, and I knew there were security concerns when I got on TikTok, but I don't know, there's such a big push. They're banning it for like government accounts at different places. And there was a story that popped out over the weekend about journalists being spied on by China through TikTok. And but there's still like journalists, like I think Bloomberg just got a TikTok account, and there's staffers from like the Washington Post and stuff. Their job is to just like post like TikTok content. So I don't know if there's going to be a big push for it to just be totally deleted, or if people will just kind of leave a mass exodus. I don't get the same. I don't know what the president's going to do, because there's obviously security concerns, but there's such a young audience on there, and it skews so far in the favor of the left, which I think a lot of that has to do with leftist sort of ideas, brainwashing the youth to weaken our country, and the commies enjoy that. But that's a conspiracy for another day, I guess. But I think that's a market that they really, really want to keep at it, because I don't know where all these people go. If they shut down TikTok, there's people with millions and millions and millions of followers, and there's a lot of people who've like made backup plans and have people follow them in other sort of accounts on Instagram, etc. But there's other people who, once that's gone, I don't think they'll have much of anything. So um, I'm gonna I gotta come up with some kind of transition plan. I think I haven't shown TikTok nearly as much. That is my biggest following over on TikTok. I haven't showed my main page as much love because it's been shadow banned for like a year. No kidding, no kidding. So I have a separate account, but I don't think that one's getting as much traction. One I did have like people mass report on TikTok, and those accounts were gone for like a little bit, and I got them. I managed to appeal a lot of stuff and got it back up. But I do have another account that I've been posting, and so anyway, I'll let you know the transition plans and stuff on that account, and because I don't know if the TikTok has long for this world, and it is like a Chinese spy thing. I mean, just to be frank, so it's it's not good for it to be on the phone. So I'm trying to weed folks over to different platforms. So I'll just keep you updated as I figure out what I'm gonna do there. But make sure you're following me on Instagram. I do have a personal Instagram account, Christina L Bar. Um, L is my middle initial, and Bar BARR, and it's Christina with a CH. Um, Black Tea News is on Instagram. My Twitter is at True Black Tea. If you go to my YouTube page, I mean not my YouTube page, my website, these links should be in the, there that you can find me all those places. If you're watching on Facebook and YouTube, there should be a link to pretty much all my socials in the descriptions, so you guys can make sure you're following across there, and make sure that you're hitting notification bells as well. And to go to the website, drop in your email so you can get email notifications when we send out email notifications. And also check out the store, different merch that we got, like that I'm Not the Victim You're Looking For, which I made this after the Gina Carano situation. And also check out some of my books as well. I got lots and lots of books, 15 actually published. I have more that I have written, like double the amount of that altogether that I have like total finished, completed, but just need to some just need some tweaking, and some need some illustrations because some are children's books. And yeah, but just check me out. Anyway, this is the last broadcast before Christmas, so I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. Please stay warm, love your families, and God bless you.